Hello everyone, welcome back to Battlefield Waltz. This is my second time recording this intro because I didn't hit play or start the first time.
おはよう。あれなんだか暗くない?
Luckily, I caught myself before I got too far into the story. I didn't hit start recording, dang it. Well, we're in the final chapter of Abel, and it's called Father and Son, which means I'm assuming that Romua is going to invade, and he's going to come across his father on the battlefield. And while he does hate him, and he said he would kill him, I don't think he'll actually go through it. I mean, this game is pretty mild when it comes to combat and violence. So, but besides that, I think that Lan gave him some things to think about, and I think he's going to hesitate. I don't think he's actually, I mean, he'll probably come to blows with his father, but I don't think he will actually try to take his life. I also don't think that his father will be as bad of a person as he thinks he is, as cruel of a person. So we'll see. We'll see if I'm right about that. I'm also battling a cold that I've had since Saturday, so if my voice kind of sounds raspy, it might get like that the drier it gets. But I have water here with me. It's just because I've been sick since Saturday, and I didn't even have a voice yesterday morning, but I'm feeling better now. I'm just going to have a cough for a really long time. But there is no more choices for Abel, so we're going to just play through the last chapter and see how it ends. When I went to get breakfast, Lesta noticed me looking down as I waited in line. It's not that I'm gloomy, I just had a bad dream last night.
そうなんだ。早く忘れた方がいいよ。
Did you have a bad dream, or are you just still thinking about Abel, right?
はや、今日のメニュー何？インゲン豆のスープだ。あれ俺好き。
ああ、はいはい。たくさん食べろ。大きくなるように。
うるせえな。俺はこれから伸びるって何回言わせんだよ。
Listening to the usual banter, I realized that this became a part of my daily life. So what am I supposed to do? Have you forgotten? We're carrying the name of Nirvana on our shoulders. Yeah, she had a really tough conversation with Abel in the last episode. She told him that she doesn't want him to fight his dad. And he's like, well, what am I supposed to do? They're Nirvana students, and so if Romua invades, they have agreed to take up arms and defend. So if he has to fight his dad, then he has to fight his dad. And she understands this, and she's just like, doesn't know what to do. Last night, after I returned to my room, I tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. Abel was right. The reason I was here at Nirvana, a military organization, was to fight. Enjoying meals and joking about trivial things were just bonuses, not the main purpose. I wonder if Abel is here yet. I scanned the cafeteria, but I couldn't find him.
おはよ
Morning, Nikkei. Oh yeah, Nikkei is roommates with Abel. He'll want to know why if I asked. I mean, you could just say that you're going out with him now. I mean, at this point, he's kissed you like 3 times. While I was thinking about it... Uh-oh.
Huh?
こんな朝早くに。一体どこのバカだよ。
まさかロムは。
Nikkei's remark made everyone fall silent, wondering if it could be true. Everyone gave him the same look.
あ、ごめん。そんなことはないかな。考えすぎだよね。
総員起立
Instructor Leonidas burst in with a stern look. We all stayed exactly where we were.
ロムワだ。東側が山脈を越えて侵略を開始してきた。
They have invaded in the first 7 minutes of the chapter. How long is this? How short is this going to be? Hopefully it's not too short, but at the same time, because my throat is the way it is, like I hope it's not longer than an hour and a half, like normal.
大至急食事を済ませて出撃準備に入れ。午後一番には出るぞ。
本当にロムアと戦うことになっちゃったね。
After she finished packing her things, Yuriana mumbled that to herself.
こんなに早くその時が来るなんてちょっと驚いてる。もっとも突然ってわけでもないか。モデスと教官のこともあったし、いろいろ向こうは準備してたのかもしれないよね。
Right. Normally, Yuriana would never appear down or somber, but today she looked different.
どんな感じなんだろう、ロムアって。強いとはもちろん聞いてるけど。
Yeah, we never fought them before.
まあ、始まる前から不安があっても仕方ないか。私たち、勝つしかないんだもんね。
Yeah. Nirvana and everyone else didn't know about Abel's parents. We had to win. That was why we were gathered here.
でも、結局スパイのことはうやむやのままだよね。誤解とかだったらいいけど、もし誰かが本当に情報を流してるなら。
Yuriana's words made me realize something, and I felt a wave of disappointment. I was so preoccupied with Abel that I completely forgot to look for the spy. If only I had been better about it, maybe this would have never happened. I never gave information to them. Someone else is contacting Igor. I've been trying to find out who, but it's been difficult. I knew that Abel wasn't the one. I trusted him. And who could it be? War had already started, but...
さて、じゃあそろそろ行こうか。
Yeah. I walked out to the yard with Yuriana and found the other students already gathered there. Their expressions were much different from the previous mission.
よし、集まってるな。
It's much more serious than a little town squabble. Or rebellion, I should say. Instructor Alias came out of the faculty building. Everyone stood up straight and saluted.
先に知らせたように、いよいよロムアの侵略が始まった。すでに山脈を越え、現在はミルベリア領内であるロクナン村が襲撃されている。
Whispers immediately followed his report. The war had truly begun now.
ロクナン村からこの王都まで大きな街道が伸びていること、君たちも知っているだろう。その街道に侵入される前にどうしても食い止めたい。いや、食い止めなければならない。これから向かうわけだが、ロクナン村から少し離れた草原地帯での戦闘になると思う。あそこは見晴らしのいい場所で、特に砦なども築かれていない。よって迂回して侵入経路を阻むなどの策も通用せず、正面から迎え撃つことになるはずだ。この場でこんなことを言うのも卑怯かもしれないが、聞いてくれ。勝利は大切だ。君たちの肩に西側の未来がかかっていると言ってもいい。だがそれでも生き抜くことを最優先にしてほしい。君たちに誰一人として欠けずにこの場所に戻ってきてほしいと私は心の底から願っている。
That would be a really hard thing to say to a bunch of teenagers and young people. Like, I can't imagine there's too many of them older than like 23 in this school.
以上だ。
Besides the teachers, of course. It was so quiet. No one uttered a sound as everyone looked straight at the instructor's face. It was far from our usual small-scale missions. We keenly felt that from the instructor's expression and words.
それとこの任務、いや、戦は長期化する可能性があることを留意しておいてくれ。数日、1週間、1ヶ月。正直現在では予想がつかない。 よし、では行こう。
はい。
I found myself seated next to Abel in the carriage. Discussing his ties with Romua was out of the question with everyone around. And it wasn't the time for small talk. In the end, we didn't speak a word. Rosian, if he's the king, then he probably won't be on the front lines. Or will he, leading his soldiers? If he and Abel were to clash. I knew it was foolish of me to think about those things. I told myself we had to focus on winning, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. There must be a way for them to make up. I'm such a fool. This isn't some fight between kids, so there's no way. But as long as there was fighting, this chain of sadness would continue. Even if we won, bringing peace to the West, Romua's soldiers also had their loved ones. Would they hate us? Would that hatred spawn new wars yet again? Am I just naive? I subconsciously looked at Abel. I couldn't tell if he was really asleep or just pretending, but his eyes were closed. I wondered if there was anything I could do. Ash spoke first after we got off the carriage. No further explanation was needed. Soldiers bearing a flag with an extravagant black and silver emblem were advancing.
街道沿いの砦から先にミルベリアの正規軍がついてたんだな。それにしてもこれは臆している余裕はないぞ。臆してねえよ。アベル。
Alias knows who Abel is. All the all of the high-ranking teachers knows who he is.
必ず勝ちます。そのために俺たちはここにいるのですから。よし、お前たち至急応対を組め。
And everyone immediately sprang into action. Alias pulled me by the arm.
君は第一隊へ。
Who's in the first company?
彼らを可能な限り援護してやってくれ。
Probably Abel. I don't know why I'm even asking. Yes, sir.
決して魔剣の力に頼りすぎてはいけない。いつもの戦闘訓練とは違うからね。
The cursed sword has pretty much forsaken her at this point. He said he's going to disappear and he hasn't come back since. Yes, I know.
彼を頼んだ。
Care of Abel. Do you know that she likes him? Instructor Alias said it with mixed emotions and a forced smile before walking away.
行くぞ！ロムアを俺たちの手で殲滅する！
I chased after Abel, still worried. I'm counting on you today. I held my right hand up and prayed. Is he going to come? But it felt different from usual. The cursed sword's azure light emerged and rained down on everyone. Oh.
すっごい綺麗。ありがとう。頑張ろうね。絶対勝とう。
今日もありがとな。よーし、行くぜ。
Oh. I turned and met Abel's gaze. I noticed a hint of hesitation deep in his eyes.
助かる。
Aw.
ありがとう。
He actually smiled and said thank you. Abel. Abel mumbled softly before turning his face away. Soon after, we clashed with the front lines of the Romua army. Sword clashes echoed from all around.
おい、今のすげえだろ。
I was wondering, I'm like, if this is Romua and he knows that it's a strong force, I wonder if he would show up. Wilhelm. Stopped suddenly when I heard that voice, but he sounded different from usual. No, it sounds like he's about to fade away. Wilhelm, are you?
今日は消えない。でもそんなにもう残り時間もない。
You see?
これ、でかい戦なんだろ？絶対勝たなきゃいけないんだろ？
Yes, that's right.
だから、
俺の最後の力でお前らのこと全員強くしてやるよ。
Yay, that means they're gonna win. The lazy cursed sword finally takes action. Wilhelm.
だから絶対負けんなよ。負けたら承知しねえぞ。
I'll beat you up. Got it. I gripped the cursed sword tightly. Even if he wouldn't vanish today, it could be tomorrow. I wanted to show Wilhelm our victory and say thank you to him. I won't lose. I took a deep breath and pointed my sword at a charging soldier.
このなんだと
I deflected first strike and traded blows. They really are strong. They were as formidable as I anticipated. They were nothing like the revolutionary army at Mihas village. Ah. I gritted my teeth and fought back. They were strong, but not unbeatable. I calmly waited for an opening from my opponent.
観念しろ小娘
Don't be so arrogant.
うわ
Blood splattered all over my body. The metallic scent filled my nose.
くそ
I backed away from the man clutching his side as I scanned for the next opponent.
うわ
I heard a voice from my side and quickly took a stance with my sword.
くそ
Swords clashed once again. There was no time to run or think. Soon, no, I no longer hesitated in cutting down others. I was afraid of that. The battlefield could drive one insane. Swinging my sword amidst the smell of blood and dust paralyzed the mind. I wondered if everyone felt the same, or if it was a cursed sword influencing me. Ugh.
があ
I defeated the second opponent. Without pause, a third lunged at me. I continued to fight. 3, 4, 5. I lost count after that. Oh. He's just cutting out everyone. I looked up to see a red sky. It was almost dusk before I knew it. It doesn't look like it's ending soon. It wasn't just Nirvana involved in this battle. The standing armies of Milvaria, Digroth, and Azul were also here. And Romua has sent enough forces to be evenly matched. Both sides had casualties, but when I looked around, it didn't feel like the numbers had decreased at all. Tomorrow and the day after. I thought about how long this would go on, and it made me dizzy. I was unsure if I had enough physical and mental energy for that. I hope everyone's alright. As I looked around, I saw a silhouette approaching Abel from behind as he fought. Abel! I dashed towards and swung my sword at the Romua soldier.
うわ
Huh? I had cut through his right arm. Oh my goodness. But as he fell to the ground, his helmet came off.
おい
Who is it? Everyone from Nirvana fighting alongside Abel must have doubted their eyes. Of course he is. I was like, it can't be Richard because you would suspect the, class bully to be the spy. But no, it is Richard. My goodness. The one who attacked Abel from behind was Richard. Oh. Sharp sound echoed through the red sky. What?
今日の戦は終わりって合図だよ。
I didn't even hear anything. Over?
夜は暗いから効率が下がるだろう。だから基本的に日が暮れると一時休戦になるんだ。
Well, isn't that convenient? Meanwhile, you could have a nighttime group of rogue assassins go and take stuff down. No. I learned that for the first time. There There had never been missions that stretched over several days, so I didn't know that piece of common knowledge.
それよりも問題はこいつだな。
He's a traitor, so obviously you just leave him there. Richard, who I had struck down with my sword, thinking he was the enemy, was crouched down with a bloody arm.
連れて行こう。
Everyone looked exhausted when we returned to the camp. The battlefield is not somewhere anyone wants to go. I remembered what Instructor Leonidas once said. So far you've only faced minor skirmishes where victory was likely. The real battle is nothing like that. He was right. Seeing the exhausted students made me feel the weight of those words. I thought all we needed to do was win. I thought we could win. I thought winning was a given. But the war with Romua taught me that there were battles that wasn't the case. On top of that,
始まるよ。
after dinner, Nikkei called for me. Yuriana, who was next to me, also stood up. Richard's interrogation was about to begin. Richard, who would have thought? Who knew things would end up this way? I couldn't look straight at Richard, who was tied up.
リシャール、先に君から何か話すことはあるかい？
何も。
Richard showed no fear, maintaining his sharp gaze on Instructor Alias as the others around him.
リシャール、君がアベルに切りかかったというのは本当なのか？
はい。
A low murmur erupted all around, but nothing distinct. The three monarchs looked at Richard in silence.
なぜそんなことを？
殺そうと思ったからです。
Richard said that defiantly, as if he believed that he was in the right.
なぜ殺そうと？君たちは旧友であり、味方同士であり。
手土産のつもりでした。
手土産？どういうことだそれは？
ロムアに寝返るための。
Defect to Rama, what does that mean? Grunts rose up from among the murmurs, but still no one said anything as they all looked dumbfounded at Richard.
リシャール、お前。
なんだその間抜け面は。愉快だ。これは最高だ。
リシャール、てめえ。
ダメですよ、パシュ。
Cash was about to attack when Asuka stopped him just in time. I think everyone here shared the same feeling as him. We were just afraid of saying it out loud.
ああ、そうそう。ついでにもう一つ告白しておきます。
なんだ？
僕ですよ。モデストを殺したのはこの僕です。でも僕は悪くない。あれは制裁です。あの男は死んで当然だったんです。なぜならあの男はもうずっとロムアと通じていたから。
は？
あいつは名簿や成績だけでなく、 ある生徒に頼んで生徒たちの詳細な性格や交友関係を把握していた。そしてそれをすべてロムアに売っていた。ロムアはニルバーナ全生徒の戦闘能力を完璧に把握している。
だいぶ詳しいようだな、リシャール。
Abel spoke with a casual, cold tone as he took a step forward.
ああ、詳しいとも。なぜならその生徒が僕だったからね。
え？
リシャール。
The atmosphere changed once again.
待ってください。それって。そうだよ、朝香。僕だよ。ちゃんとスパイはいたんだよ。君のすぐそばにね。
He had the nerve to blame Nikkei in front of the whole class.
リシャール。貴様
Asuka. Asuka reflexively drew his katana, but then stopped with a gasp.
申し訳ありません。つい。
It was unusual for Asuka, who usually admonished others, to give in to such anger. There was a strange stillness around us that made it hard to even breathe. All I heard was the bonfire crackles. The students, the instructors, and the monarchs all stared at Richard in silence. Then Asuka stepped forward and spoke.
リシャール。君は僕たちをずっと裏切っていたんですか？
I think it's obvious at this point that he's betraying you. Betray, that word weighed heavily on our hearts. Deep down, I hoped it was some kind of mistake, and I was annoyed at myself for it.
裏切りか。
Richard suddenly turns towards Abel.
でも僕はもっとひどい裏切りを知ってる。
I know, right? It wouldn't surprise me that he knows about Abel. A bad feeling crept up my spine. Does Richard know about Abel?
リシャール、それはどういうことだ？知っていることがあるなら包み隠さず話しなさい。
This is not going to come to any surprise to the monarchs, though, and probably to Alias, who knows this.
そうですね。
Richard's gaze looked arrogant as he turned to Abel again.
ニルバーナの中にロムア国王ロジオンの息子がいるらしいんですよ。
はあ？おい、てめえつまんねえ嘘言うと承知しねえぞ。
彼はロジオンからある命を受けていた。彼は来るべき戦のためにニルバーナの生徒を掌握、もしくは殲滅するために潜り込んでいた。
Everyone exchanged skeptical looks. Abel. Abel looked as he always did. Even now he maintained his composure, and his calmness impressed me.
その生徒の名前はアベル。
ふっざけんな！
Ash?
いくら後がないからって自分の罪を人になすりつけるような嘘つくな！アベルはそんなやつじゃない！
The fact that he's defending him like this must sting really bad. Everyone believes in him, and it's the truth. Oh. I was happy to hear Pash say that, although this wasn't about me. I was glad that someone else spoke up for him. I almost blurted out my own defenses for him, but I restrained myself. With Abel right there, I felt it wasn't my place to interrupt as a third party. I believed Abel would speak the truth himself, I was sure of that.
そりゃちょっと口悪いし不愛想だしムカつくところもあるけど
Oh, he's defending him so hard.
でもこいつは俺のこと助け
すまないパシュ。
え
リシャールの言うことは本当だ。俺はロジオンの息子であいつの命を受けてここに来た。
それはいくらお前でも冗談きついって。嘘だろ。
間違いない。
嘘だろ。
Oh, he's crying.
嘘だ。そんな。てめえ
Oh, I feel so bad for Pash. He's been hurt. Ah.
ふざけんなてめえ
やめろパシュ。
Pash was about to attack again when the instructor grabbed him.
どうして止めるんだよ殴らせろよ
落ち着け。
これが落ち着けるかよこいつはずっと俺たちのこと騙してたんだ
Pash.
ふざけんなずっとくそ最低だお前
Abel quietly wiped the blood from his mouth. At that moment, a thought crossed my mind. Did he get punched on purpose? Yeah, I know he did. He feels he deserves it. And to some degree, he probably does, because he hasn't told any of his friends who he is. So he's hurt them on purpose. But, I mean, you couldn't really say it on the other hand, because he'd probably get kicked out if, the students knew. It's only the leaders knew about it.
アベル見損なったぞ最低だ今まで俺たちのこと
パシュ
Instructor Alia stopped him, then...
アーベルいい格好だなそうだこれが僕の望んだものだニルバーナにおいて頂点に立つお前が絶対の勝者であり続けたお前がついに他者から侮辱され憎悪される対象になったんだ
Richard.
ほら見てみろよアベルみんながお前という存在を許せなくなってる
Except for Lan.
今までお前に向けられていた尊敬も称賛も羨望も全て消え失せた今のお前に向けられるのは失望と憎悪と侮蔑ここにはもうお前の居場所はない
I expected her to stand up and defend him at any moment.
お前はもう誰からも信じられず尊敬されもせずただ憎悪されるだけの存在になり下がったんだ素晴らしいなんて素晴らしいんだ祝杯をあげたいくらいだよアベル
You are insane. Cut it out, Richard. Don't say that. It's not true. Abel is.
無駄だよ。
Richard's eyes were still filled with satisfaction and hatred.
お前一人がかばったところで、誰ももうこいつのことは信じない。アベル、どんな気分だ？ニルバーナの頂点から失墜した今、さぞかし悔しいだろうな。
It's never where he wanted to be anyway, so I don't think he cares.
さあ、アベル、弁解できる言葉があるなら口にしてみろ。みんなの前でな。
Abel, who could have predicted this outcome? I was paralyzed by how powerless I felt. What should I have done? Was I supposed to report this to Queen Kiora when I heard it from Chalet? Was what I did wrong? A blinding helplessness took root inside of me, but then...
アベル、リシャールが言ったことに間違いはないのかしら。
No. Queen Kiora walked towards Abel with her usual gentle smile. Yes, exactly as she always did. Unlike the agitated crowd, she remained calm and radiated tender benevolence.
他にあなたが私たちに伝えたいことはないの？
When you hate your father? I mean, he said he's there under orders, but he's there to foil his plan, I guess? I can see Abel's shoulders slightly tense. He didn't seem afraid, nor did it look like he had given up. Abel looked around us with a composed expression before he finally spoke.
リシャールが言ったことは確かに真実です。けれど、すべてではありません。俺がニルバーナに来たのは、あの男を撃つためです。
After more murmurs, everyone quieted down. We all observed Abel's every move.
あの男は、ロムア国王ロジオンは、
He's no father of mine.
俺の母親をもてあそんで捨て、そして、俺を利用しようとしました。俺はそんな男の存在を、この世界から消すために、ニルバーナで剣の腕を磨き続けました。一度も会ったことのない父親に情など湧きません。
一度も？
はい。あの男からの伝言を携えてやってきたのは腹心のイゴールという男でした。まだ目通りは難しいと奴は言いました。ただもし俺が見事に目的を果たした暁には次期国王として迎え入れようと。
国王。
国王。
愚かだと思いませんか？戯れに愛した女の子供を今さら城にあげるなど。ですから俺は誓ったのです。命令に従うふりをしてニルバーナで生活を続け、もしロムアとの戦いが起きた時には必ず俺があの男の息の根を止めると。
Abel. He used that phrase toyed with. It was like he was pretending we never talked last night. Did what I say not reach him? Even though I knew I was being naive, I had not forgotten who I was. My words probably didn't reach Abel's heart. Then why was he in tears?
信じていただけなくとも構いません。ですが俺は必ず。
それは都合が良すぎるだろう、アベル。 言葉などいくらでも語れる。君の心の中の真実など私たちには見えはしない。君がもしその体に剣を突き立て、私たちの前で血を流してみせたとしても、それが嘘という可能性もあるからだ。
King Cerzar and Queen Kiora didn't appear to be agitated one bit. They remained calm with a smile as they continued to observe Abel.
君がロジオンを本当に撃つという保証はどこにもない。明日また再び戦が始まれば、今度こそ寝返り、我々に刃を向けてくるかもしれない。
それは。
魔剣に勝利できるほどの戦力を失うのは残念だが、私としてはこの場で捕獲することを提案したい。味方としているうちはいいが、敵に回すと厄介すぎるのだよ、君という男は。
おっしゃることはもっともです。ですが俺は本当に。
Please trust Abel.
ラン。
I was probably the only one there who could still stand up for Abel.
相変わらず優しいな、君は。それとも君もアベルの仲間なのかな？二人で私たちをたばかった？
We did no such thing. I just want you to trust Abel.
では君はその責任を取れるか？戦は遊びではない。もう少し冷静になりたまえ。
I know, but
では私が番人になろうか。
親父？
Lord Avis.
我が弟よ、一体何を言い出すのか。
この私が彼を見張ろう。もしシェラザール殿の言う通り、明日我々を裏切るようなことがあれば、私がこの手で彼の命を絶とう。
親父！
それでいかがかな、皆さん。
何を理由にそんな肩入れを？
Because there's people who still believe in him. Why do you not understand this?
別に肩入れをしているつもりはないのだが、まあ強いて言うのなら、私も息子を持つ身なのでね。
は？
興味があるのだよ、彼の選択に。
私は依存ありません。他のお二人は？私は彼を信じようと思います。
Queen Kiora.
わかった。エバス、頼んだぞ。
キオラとイルダスがそう言うなら仕方がない。
お任せを。
It was my first time sleeping on a battlefield. I was anxious because of the uncertainty of the battle stretching on. Richard and Abel were under watch by the standing armies of Milvaria. Abel wasn't shackled, but he was isolated from us. We couldn't talk to him. Instructor Alias reassigned the commander's post from Abel to Lessa starting tomorrow. All we could do is accept it.
大変な一日だったね。いろんな意味で。
Rihanna mumbled as we prepared to sleep.
もしかして、アベルのこと知ってた？
I couldn't answer right away. I felt guilty for hiding it from everyone else, and I was also worried for Abel tomorrow.
誤解しないで。責めようと思って聞いたわけじゃないの。ただ、もし知ってたら、あなたも辛かったろうなって。
Nirvana.
こういうこともあるんだなって思った。私はアベルの言うことを信じてるよ。もちろん聞いた時にはびっくりしたけど、私から見たあいつはそんな卑怯でずるくない。みんなの前で好きな女の子をお昼に連れ出すような直球だもんね。
Funny. He did ask her out in front of Yuriana and everyone else.
だからこそ、なんとかいい方向に収まってほしいと思うけど。
I hope so too. I'm sorry I hid it from you. I only found out right before this war too. And now I'm not sure what to do.
これは難問だよ。
Just when Yuriana offered me a wry smile.
ラン、ちょっとおいで。
Huh? Lady Ignis appeared suddenly and urged me to go to Queen Cura and the others.
大丈夫。あんたに尋問しようとかじゃない。
Yes. I'm sure this is about Abel. In the end, I wasn't able to complete the mission I got from Queen Cura. I'm sorry, Abel.
おう、来たか。
Hello.
Oh.
He notices how awkward she is. But the look he's given her kind of looks like a look out of pity.
ごめんなさいね、突然。
Not at all. This wasn't the palace. There was no extravagant hall, yet seeing Queen Cora and the others here added an air of elegance and authority.
明日を前に、あなたともちゃんと話しておかなければならないと思ったものだから。まず、私たちはあなたに謝らなければいけないことがある。
Huh?
ロムアと、そして彼のことで、あなたには辛い思いをさせてしまった。ごめんなさいね。
Sorry, but we already knew about it. Queen Cora, please don't say things like that. I must apologize for being useless and...
いいえ。あなたは素晴らしい働きをしてくれたわ。働きという言葉を使うのも少し違うかもしれないけれど。
君を最初に城に呼んだ時、私たちはアベルがロジオンの息子であるとほぼ確信していた。
What?
ただ、私たちもそれ以上のことは何もわからなかったのです。
そう。だからお前に委ねた。
学び屋の中に私たちは入り込めない。同じ立場である君なら何か掴んでくれるのではと考えた。
But I couldn't.
彼は10代半ばからすでに大会では一目置かれる存在だった。もちろんニルバーナに入るように声もかけた。だが彼は全く興味を示さない。最初は金目当てであちこちの試合や大会を渡り歩いているのかと思い、それなりの金額の提示もした。けれどやはり首を縦に振らない。こう言ってはなんだが、落とし種などさして珍しい話でもない。ロジオンとてそんな戯れもあろう。そう思っていたのだ。だが事態が変わった。 アベルが突然ニルバーナに入学することを受け入れたのだ。何かあるのではと勘ぐるのが普通だろう。
King Caesar.
それからしばらくして君の村の事件があった。
Oh.
そこから先は城で君に話した通りだ。だがあそこでアベルの名を出さなかったのは彼のロジオンへの感情がどんなものかわからなかったからだ。
How he felt?
長く離れ離れになっていた。もしかしたら一度も会ったことのない父親のことを彼がどう思っているのか。そんな男からの命令を黙って受け入れるようなやつなのか、何か他に考えがあるのではないか。そう、例えば憎しみから父を撃とうとすることもあるのではないか。だとしたらそれは私たちが望むべき未来につながるのではないかとね。
King Caesar, that's too much.
シェラザール、あまり彼女に意地悪をしないでちょうだい。彼女は本当にあの子を大切に思っているのでしょうから。
I didn't know how it all connected. None of them seemed overly concerned.
あなたはアベルを変えたのだと思う。あの子はニルバーナの一員になってからもずっと一人だった。
誰よりも先に敵に切り込み、すべてを無表情に打ち倒し、称賛には応えない。
話しかけても必要最小限。インギンブレートは奴のためにあるような言葉だった。
もしそのままの彼なら今日あそこで黙って殴られはしなかったでしょうね。
So it sounds like they're putting him under like house arrest and like under the careful watch of the king's brother for appearances, I think, so that in the eyes of everyone else it looks like that they're being highly suspicious of him, when the fact is that they really do trust him, but they can't let everyone know that they trust him, because then they will lose trust in the other people, in their people. That's how I'm seeing it anyway. Oh.
せっかくこの私が全力で挑発してやったのに乗らないのだ。まったく。まさかエバスが出てくるとは思わなかったが。
I taunted him. Yeah, you got underneath his skin a lot when it came to Lan.
あれは俺も驚いた。あいつは別にアベルに思い入れなどないと思うのだが。
ああ、そうだ。もう一つ、君にだけは伝えておこう。さっきリシャールと話してきた。彼はロムアが西側を制圧した暁には我がアスールだけは独立を認めるという素晴らしい条件に踊らされていたようだ。アベルのことはモデストが口を滑らせたらしい。詳細は語らなかったが、あの様子ではおそらくさらにモデストはリシャールのプライドを刺激する言葉を吐いたのではないかと思う。彼の行動は同じアスールの民として残念ではあるが、彼の中にも正義はあったのだ。死罪にはしない。だがこの戦いの後、もう君たちは二度と彼に会うことはないだろう。
And out without saying a word, his actions were unforgivable. But it wasn't hard to see that what motivated him, Richard was consumed by envy, a corrupting force that lives in all of us. Do you all believe what Abel said?
少なくとも私は信じています。ただだからこそ、明日、あの子がどんな選択をするのかが怖い。今あの子は一人、どんな気持ちでいるのかしら。
うん。
ロジオンは強い。相打ちの可能性もある。
Oh no.
国家間という問題だけなら、交渉で和平を結ぶという望みもあります。
問題はアベルが父親であるロジオンを許せるかだろう。
私たちはもう祈ることしかできない。けれど、あなたがアベルに与えたものは必ず彼の中にあるはず。
Inkura held my hand tightly.
彼を信じましょう。
Wrapped in a blanket, I looked up at the stars, recalling the night in the field. If only war never happened. That was what I thought that night. But now that the war started, I wondered how it would end. Would we win or would we lose, and where would Abel's hatred take him? I pulled the blanket over my head and shut my eyes. We are an hour into recording, and we haven't even seen Rosine yet. Oh, goodness. But it could not be that long too. Like there's some things in a game where I'm just like, man, I've been recording for so long and the conflict hasn't even resolved. And then Code Realize is a good example of this. And then like in the next 20 minutes the conflict's resolved. I'm like, wow. Well, that was that was quick. This could be the same way. I was unsure. Well, I say it could be the same way, but as I've said many times, Battlefield Waltz has a very bad habit of, I don't want to say this, of reiterating things over and over and over again, and they spend way too long on a particular conversation when it could have just ended like a long time ago. I was unsure I could sleep, but I managed to doze off a little as dawn neared. I probably slept for a few hours. I woke to the sound of others rising.
あ、おはよう。食事もうできてるからどうぞ。
Good morning. Breakfast was prepared by the medics from each army and Decay's group. We had vegetable soup, sausages, and bread, more than satisfying for the battlefield.
おはよ
Someone's grumpy. Good morning, Pash. While I was eating with Yoriana, Pash approached us, his head hanging low.
う。アベルのことさ。いきなり殴って悪かったよな。あいつ逃げなかったんだ。全然身構えなくて。普通人間ってあんなことになったら反射的に逃げるじゃん。でもあいつそうじゃなかった。殴った俺が正直びっくりするくらい。
Maybe. I'm sure that Abel could have easily dodged it if he really wanted to.
だよな。なんかもう俺よくわかんねえや。俺確かに親父のことはムカつくけど、自分の手で撃とうとかそれはさすがに。
You also know him too. I mean, Abel hasn't even taken the chance to get to know Rosian. It must feel terrible.
本気なのかな。まあ嘘だったらそれはそれでまずいけど、なんか、
I wonder what's going to happen.
どうなるんだろうな。
But Eva said he was interested in Abel's choice. There was nothing we could do. All we could do was pray. The battle's second day began with a bang. Yesterday we had left immediately upon arrival, but we were more organized today due to more detailed instructions. Thanks to that, Romua's front lines were pushed back near the mountain's range, but... Wilhelm, can you hear me?
聞こえてるよ。なんだよ。
Sorry. After the faltering Azura light this morning, Wilhelm's voice was significantly softer. I had a bad feeling about this.
話しかけんなよ。力使うんだよ。
Got it. I think it was a little past noon. I didn't have a clock on me, so I wasn't sure, but the sun was high.
ロジオンだ。
Oh my goodness. A moment of truth. Here comes your father. When King Illidus made the announcement, we all faced the forest by the mountain range. Oh. Despite being an enemy, he looked dignified. A jet black horse lined up and the black and silver flags fluttered in the wind. And at the center of it all, there was a man that exuded a commanding presence. Oh my goodness, he looks just like Abel. So that's him. I see where he gets his eyes. There was no doubt about it. Even at that distance, I felt a sort of overwhelming pressure. Abel. He was looking straight at that man, and his expression was filled with mixed emotions that were difficult to describe. I felt unnerved because it wasn't just hatred.
俺があいつを撃つ。必ず。
Suddenly, Abel's sharp cry echoed.
誰も手出しはするな。この俺が必ずロジオンを討ち取る。
Abel. Rosian's band charged down at amazing speed. Abel also ran directly into it. I gripped my cursed sword and followed him.
うわ貴様ら
Screams echoed around me, and dust from the cavalry obscured my view. I could only defeat nearby enemies.
もう一頑張りしないとダメそうだな。
Wilhelm, no, don't push yourself.
何を甘いこと抜かしてんだボケ。勝たなきゃならない戦なんだろうが。
I know, like, you need to win at all cost.
てめえら絶対に勝てよ。
Azura lights rained down from the sky. Everyone fighting noticed them as well and briefly looked up.
これで勝たなきゃ許さねえ。
Wilhelm?
うるせえ。立ち止まってる暇があったら誰か切ってこい。
I knew it. This was the end. Wilhelm. I gripped the cursed sword tightly and rushed towards the enemy.
こんなところで死ねえ
It was a fierce battle. There was no time to think. I had enough trouble just defending myself as I desperately swung my sword. Her horse. A sharp, hateful neigh erupted, followed by the rippling, heavy roar. The students and soldiers who were fighting stopped suddenly. Could it be? I sensed something ominous and ran in the direction of the sound. Oh my goodness! Ah! Obviously, for a final chapter of Abel, this is the CG right here. I knew they would come to blows, at least. I saw instantly caused my mind to become a jumbled mess. Abel was glaring at his father Rosian and swinging his sword down without hesitation. Rosian showed no mercy to Abel, his son, and struck back with equal force.
始まったな。
ああ。
The students and soldiers, noticing their duel, stopped their own fighting. They watched the unfolding feud with awe, respect, and envy in their eyes. Anyone familiar with combat would know. The battle would be remembered in the history of Vortesia.
どうかな、あの二人の立ち筋。そっくりだとは思わないか？
Lord Evis asked me with a wry smile. Yes, I do see the resemblance. Though I've heard of stories, I never realized the depth of their blood bond until now. As far as I knew, Rosie had never taught Abel anything. Yet their stance and sword swings were strikingly similar. Lord Evis, what do you make of this? Why did you do what you did yesterday?
なぜだと思う？
I don't know.
悪かった。
Lord Evis laughed cheerfully, which irritated me. The situation was very serious, but he managed to act like that. Do you think that Abel still wants to kill Rosian?
彼は一度口にしたことはやり通すだろうね。ただ私は思うのだ。もし私がロジオンの立場だったら、もし全力でパシュが私を討ちに来るなら、それは喜びだと思う。
Lord Evis.
私は同じくそれに全力で応えるだろう。
But
君は父上を亡くしたそうだね。
Yes.
女の子だからちょっと想像しにくいかもしれないが、父親として息子が自分を超えるのはこの上ない喜びだよ。
You mentioned that before, and I think I'm starting to understand, but
思うんだが、ロジオンも迷っているんじゃないだろうか。黙って傀儡になるような愚かな息子などロムアには不要。ロムアの王たる男が望むのは、ジップすら迷いなく打てる強靭な心と容赦のない剣を持つ者。想像だけどね。
Lord Evis smiled, but this time it was tinged with sadness. Even if Abel struck down his father, like his father probably wants to know that he has the courage to do that, I still don't think Abel would ever go to the throne. Abel doesn't like Romua at all, so they would have to find a new king.
この先の選択はあの二人にしかできない。私たちは見届けるだけだよ。
Lord Evis maintained his calm demeanor. Since he had to watch Abel, he must have been ready to kill him, yet he seemed untroubled. Or did he simply trust Abel? But if so, what awaited us was that one of them would fall. Abel. Well, obviously it's not going to be Abel. This is Abel's story. It's not going to be him. Silence fell. No one moved. We waited with bated breath for the battle's end. Of course I wanted Abel to win. However, I couldn't help but think of Lady Emira and what she would want. They're not even speaking to each other. They're not speaking to each other, they're not taunting each other, they're just fighting. Suddenly the endless clashing of swords paused, and instead a sharp clang echoed.
おや？
Abel had found a tiny opening and exploited it, altering the movement of Rosian's sword. The battle, once evenly matched, began to tilt in Abel's favor.
ついてこられなくなったか。
おごるな。
Abel. I thought Abel had the upper hand, but a ruthless strike quickly turned the tides. Victory could swing either way at any moment, decided in the time it takes to breathe.
ロジオンよ、潔く散れ。貴様のような卑劣な男は王になどふさわしくない。 少子綺麗事だけで国を治めてゆけると思うか。貴様の裏切りなどお見通しよ。情に翻弄される惰弱者め。貴様
Oh my goodness. Ah. Rosea's sword was set flying into the air. I thought him attacking him in blind hatred like that was going to give Rosie the advantage. It's usually what happens.
Oh!
The sword hit the dirt with a dry clank. A hush fell over all of us. Abel. Rosie was too far from his sword. Even if he tried to retrieve it, Abel would likely deliver a fatal blow first. If that was Abel's intent.
どうだ。お前の最後の時が来たぞ。
そのようだな。
The fact that he hasn't already killed him just proves that he is going to hesitate. Is he going to not kill him like I predicted? Abel slowly walked closer, his sword raised. Blood would be shed if he swung it down.
お前の命が尽きる前に詫びてもらいたい。
詫び？何を言い出すかと思えばこの後に及んで。
あの人に詫びろ。
As he keep calling his mother that woman. Oh.
その時間だけは与えてやる。貴様が戯れにもてあそんだ女に詫びろ。許しを超え。
断る。私はエメラに詫びることなど一つもない。
Because it's true that he loved her.
私たちの間に嘘偽りは何一つなかった。お前がどう思おうとな。どうしたアベル。早くその剣を振り下ろせ。父の首を跳ねてみよう。
Stop. My voice cutting through the silence snapped me back to reality. Everyone's gaze turned to me.
Lan.
Sorry. I wiped away the tears and stepped back. I had screamed something I shouldn't have. I desired something I shouldn't as a Nirvana student. It was nothing. Abel took a deep breath, and he held his sword once more. He held it up high and...
死ね！ロムア国王ロジオンよ！
I shut my eyes. The sound of torn flesh and terrible stench of blood forced me to keep them closed.
大丈夫だよ。
He's not dead. Lord Evis tapped me on the shoulder. Lord Evis? I slowly opened my eyes but hesitated to look.
これが彼の選択なんだな。
What? I slowly looked up. Ah. There was blood shed, but it came from Rosian's slashed left arm. Abel.
ロムア国王ロジオン討ち取ったり。本日この瞬間よりこの俺がロムアの新しい王となる。
Oh my goodness, is he gonna... He's actually going to take the king's spot? He's going to take the throne? I was not expecting that at all.
そして
You're going to pledge your allegiance to the West?
西側ミルベリア、アスール、ダグロートに恒久的な和平条約の締結を求める。
I knew it.
このオルテシアにもう二度と戦の火は燃やさぬ。それが新しいロムアの王の望みと知れ。
Oh. The silence was deafening. No one uttered a word as they witnessed the undaunting tears of the new king. Rosine's wound was deep. Even with treatment, it's likely he'll never wield a sword again. But even so... Aww. I wasn't expecting him to be king, but him to be king to declare a peace treaty with all the nations makes sense to me. That's something Abel would do. Abel. I jumped into his arms before I realized. Thank you. My words were incoherent through the tears. I didn't even know if saying thanks was an appropriate thing to do. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. But I was simply relieved that Abel hadn't taken Rosian's life.
お前のせいだぞ。
It's your fault.
まったく。お前は甘すぎる。
I'm sorry.
まあ、そのうち責任は取ってもらう。
Huh?
覚えておけ。
Wait, what? Take responsibility for being a traitor to Nirvana? Then I realized everyone was watching us. Oh. I lightly pushed away from Abel out of reflex. Or does he may take responsibility for something else?
ロムアの新しい王の誕生だ。皆の手で勝ち取った勝利を盛大に祝おうではないか。
Cheers rumbled and echoed across the wild lands. I felt tears welling up once more, this time out of joy.
ああ、やればできるじゃん。
Wilhelm? I heard his voice coming from somewhere, but he was nowhere to be seen.
よかったじゃん。これで俺も安心だよ。
Oh. She says oh like way too much. Like I'm tired of saying the word oh and huh. That's all she says.
じゃあな。
Wilhelm, thank you. I'm surprised he didn't say sayonara instead. Thank you. The victory feast was held at the palace in Milvaria for an entire week. The castle, always adorned with flowers and verdure, was now so festively decorated that there was barely room to stand. Lord Evis and the others emptied countless barrels of liquor while Queen Kiora and King Sarazar watched with amusement. Abel was already exuding a regal air befitting a king, making his Nirvana uniform seem all too restrictive. He said I'd have to take responsibility, but what would he make me do? Did he say you? Is that what he said? I thought he said I. Hold on. Eventually I'll have you take responsibility. Oh, for it being her fault. Okay. That suddenly makes more sense now. Make you take responsibility. You're gonna ask her to be your queen? I mean, that's what I would do. We exchanged a few words in the hall, but Abel didn't mention anything about it. Is he mad at me? What if he punishes me as king? The cursed sword has lost its light. Once the azure light of the cursed sword faded, it became clear as glass. The beautiful blue must have been the color of Wilhelm's soul. I discussed this with Queen Kiora and the others, but no one reprimanded me. Queen Kiora mentioned that she knew the cursed sword's power was weakening day by day. King Illidus noted that he must have been satisfied to meet his end in that battle. Wilhelm wasn't the kind to say a lot, but as he vanished, his voice seemed satisfied. Wilhelm's smile that I thought I saw would forever stay in my heart.
Oi.
I suddenly heard that familiar voice and almost jumped in surprise. Abel, did you want something?
お前、どうしてそんなに動揺してるんだよ。
She thinks you're mad at her. Huh? Well, I better not say I was thinking about what he was going to make me do. He doesn't look mad. Maybe he said that in the heat of the moment and has already forgotten about it.
シェラザールに聞いたぞ。お前これからもニルバーナで頑張るんだって？
Huh? Oh yeah, I will. The cursed sword is just a normal sword now, but Instructor Alias and Queen Kiora both said that I can stay here. Oh? Is he judging you about something? You're going to be returning to Romua soon, right, Abel?
1週間後にな。
You have to come with me. See, it was to be expected. Now that he was the new king of Romua, he would return to his own nation. He wouldn't be here anymore. I knew that I should congratulate him, but part of me dreaded our separation. I smiled awkwardly at him.
これ。
Abel casually held out a silk bag. Huh? What's this? Because he gave it to me so casually, I opened it without much thought. Oh? Abel? Is that a wedding ring? My entire body tensed up when I found a luxurious silver bangle decorated with large black pearls and diamonds. Oh, it's a bangle. So, a bracelet? This was the bangle Rosian gave Lady Emira. Doesn't that mean... Abel, isn't this...
責任を取れ。
Take responsibility. I knew it. Become my wife.
一通り王としての勉強が終わったら迎えに来る。お前は次のロムアの王妃になれ。お前が平和だなんだと甘いことを抜かすせいで、俺はあの男を打ち損ねた。その責任を取ってもらわないとな。
I mean, he did say that you are his and he's not letting anyone else have you. So, Abel?
それとも何か？俺がロムアに戻るからと他の男にくら替えするつもりだったのか？
No, I'll never.
ならそれを約束の印に持っておけ。迎えに来る。必ず。
Aww. Oh, that's so cute. Abel, I'll come for you. Probably after graduation, right?
ラン、愛している。これからもずっと。
Aww. That's so adorable. They didn't elaborate on that at all, did they? So it goes straight into the indie for Abel's, which we're going to do in a different episode, not in this one. The indie song was a little bit distracting because I think it was way too loud. I actually turned the gain down a little bit on the audio when it was playing, but I have a limiter on my OBS for people who like scream at the top of their lungs. They don't go over a certain octave or a certain decibel or whatever it is. But that song was constantly peaked out at the very end. I don't know if it was reflecting in my earphones or if what I'm hearing is just the normal sound of the game. I know it's going to sound different on OBS when I record it, but I don't know if I'm hearing the sound that I'm actually recording. But whenever it got that loud, it just sounded like bad. It didn't sound good at all. Maybe if I turn down like background music or something, maybe like sounds movie. Maybe it's the movie. We'll turn that down a little bit so we don't get that the next time for the next character. Hopefully we can fix that anyway. Well, what I was saying was, it's funny that they didn't elaborate like at the end. Like he said one line, "I love you," and that's it. Like he didn't confirm it or anything, which is strange. Usually there's a little, confession between people whenever they exchange these words, but nope. Straight to the point. We're done. Episode over. Anyway. Well, like I said, it could be really short. Like the whole thing took 30 minutes. So I was watching. So yeah. I didn't think he would kill him. I didn't expect him to become king. I guess I should have expected it. I mean, why would you not become king to better the rest of the nation? If you're loyal to Ortesia and the other monarchs, why not become king and pledge yourself, side with them, make peace treaty with them like everyone else, make the whole world at peace. Anyway, I think this game is more focused on story than it is on romance, and that's fine. I really enjoy these games for the romance part of it. I do like a good story, but I think I'm more fantasy oriented than anything else. So this story was kind of not very interesting to me. I liked it, I enjoyed it, but I'm not a politician. I don't like politics. I don't like war. It's not interesting to read. So it finally started getting interesting when Abel became a conflict himself, as when it became interesting to me, because he is Rosian's son. There's a conflict now that directly impacts Lan. And I think that's what I enjoyed the most out of this. I wish the romance could have been a little bit more. I really enjoyed his confession, his very first confession, because he was very passionate and he made it clear that he wanted her and he wasn't going to let anyone else have her, and he felt like he was committing himself to her. But then he kind of strayed away whenever he got mad. Every time he got mad, he kind of pushed her away, or he didn't want to talk to her. He couldn't get through his own feelings. And she was the one that kind of, chipped away at his resolve and made him open up to receive what she had to say and receive her. So I did like that. I like the character development of Abel. I really like character development is one of the things I also really enjoy in games, and Abel had really good character development in my opinion. So I enjoyed watching him grow as a character. So, but Lustin is next, and I'm really looking forward to Lustin. I like Abel's trope, but I think I like the more loose characters, I guess, is the term I'm looking for. I don't know how to say it without sounding like strange. Like, I don't like playboy type characters, but I don't think Lustin's really a playboy. He just comes off as a playboy. I think that's his persona. I don't think that's really who he's going to be. I think he's going to be actually very loyal. But that's just what I think. It's not necessarily what may be, but that's just what I'm That's what I get from Lustin. But since he's so forward, and he's not afraid to voice his opinion about her, tell her that he likes her right away, he thinks that she's cute. I like those characters. And I think I'm going to really enjoy Lustin's Roots. Anyway, so after this, the episodes I record in a separate episode is going to be the next one, and that's going to finally finish off Abel. If you guys haven't watched any of my other series, this is how I like to record my videos. I keep the ends separate. It's because some people, they only want to know the end. Like, they may have read it themselves, or they couldn't get a certain end and they just want to see the ending. So I record the ending separate, and I'll do timestamps to guide you guys to the one you actually want to watch. But that is going to be next week. I will probably be finishing Cupid Parasite this week. I feel like I will. Hope I do, actually. And then I can commit Battlefield Waltz to a more regular release schedule. I don't really have a schedule that I adhere to. It's just whenever I get time, or real life doesn't take priority, or whenever because YouTube is just a hobby for me. I'm not doing it for I'm not monetized. I don't have memberships. I'm choosing not to do memberships. So it's just what I do in my free time when I want to read and record my reactions and share it with you guys. But after Cupid Parasite, I will be doing Battlefield Waltz more often, and it's going to be the only game that I focus on. I mentioned in a previous episode of a previous series that I might be recording, what is it called? Veers Evermore on the side. And it's a mature rated game, which I wasn't going to put on the channel, but if it is okay enough for YouTube standards, then I will post it. It's just something that I really wanted to play through, but it has to be okay for YouTube not to say, hey, this is inappropriate, take it down. I think it's going to be the violent side of it that's going to make an impact. I don't really know what YouTube standard is on violence, but I have watched some videos of like Diablo, and the YouTube creators are saying that, hey, this is sponsored by Blizzard Entertainment because YouTube demonetizes this channel because it has too much blood or whatever. So, but anyway, that's something that probably won't appear on the channel until I have a good portion of it recorded and edited. Like maybe when I'm, I don't know, halfway through the game or something. Maybe not that far, but when I feel like I want to post some other things as like filler content, then I'll post it. But that's probably what I'll be doing in my spare time. Anyway, I have blabbed on for like almost 10 minutes, so I'm gonna let you guys go here. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.